Oh, actually, it's recording it in Zoom. So, all right, let's get started here.
Okay, so you are.
Hey, Shaun.
Yeah.
Shaun.
Yes, sir.
Hey, are you going to record this so that we can view it later? I know Susan, which is one of our vice president at Note School, is on, and but we're very interested, so we may want to, show it to some other folks in the office later.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I was just starting to say, but I'm figuring this out as we go. Yeah, the goal is to record this and have you guys be able to check it out later if you want to. And just so you guys know, I wanted to have Becky on here because, quite frankly, there are other experts that are really good in some areas. I know that my strength is from the stage and speaking and things like that, but I also know that implementation of marketing, I can come up with marketing ideas. I know how all this stuff works for the most part, inside and out. But implementing it, I might as well, stick a knife in my throat and just go ahead and just start slicing, because not only do I not want to know how to do it, but when I start and sit down and start implementing things like this myself, I start realizing how, one little piece that I don't know how to implement can take me 3 hours. And why not just hire somebody like Becky to just do all this for me? So I have hired her. We've been working together for just a couple of months now. And I wanted to show you guys some of what I'm doing to try to fill my events so that you guys can see a little bit. Now, some of this is not tested by me. Some of this Becky has tested before in the past. Becky, if you don't mind, I might just let you run the overwhelming majority of this meeting, because you know what you're talking about and
I don't. Okay, cool. And it doesn't look like it looks like these are all your people, but real quick, just so for people who are watching this later, because I know a lot of my list couldn't make it right now, can you kind of recap Life in Air and what we're trying to do, why we're trying to get more people in this, a little bit of the concept of what Life in Air is? Yeah,
so Life in Air is a set of concepts and principles designed around you having a business but also having a life. And so when I was in the real estate business for years and years, and even in the speaking and info business, it's really easy to start letting business take over, where here I am working 60, 70, 80 hours a week trying to build a business so that I could hopefully someday have a life. And Life in Air reverse engineers all of that and says, let's design what we want our life to look like first, and then let's figure out how to fit business in with what's left. So this is a set of principles that's kind of hard to attract people to, because quite frankly, I've gotten it down to where in about a 60 or 90-minute presentation, I can really grab them and bring them into our world, so to speak, and get them to our live events and through coaching and all these things. But it has been one of the most challenging things to describe in a minute or two, like I'm doing right now, and also describe it to a point where it really pulls people in. So we've been relying heavily on live events. Me going to speak in front of a room where somebody else, like Brian, who's on with us, I'll be speaking at his Real Estate Investor Association this week, and he'll bring 100, 150 people into a room, maybe more, maybe less. I'll go speak for 90 minutes, and in 90 minutes I can capture them. But the key now is the more people that we can get into a room, the easier it is for me. Once I'm in front of a room, I can do my thing and I can get them in. But I got to get them there, And so I have never really relied on the web to do that. And so now I have been wanting to for years, but it's been just so easy for me to go show up to somebody who already has a meetup group going that I haven't had to rely on this. So now, after talking with Becky, Becky's like, why don't we drive more people to the actual meeting where Brian has his Real Estate Investor Association? The more people you get there, the more you'll be able to close them once they're there. And so let's build this funnel. And so how can we get people to see a sales page or a write-up or some videos of what Life in Air is, get them to sign up for that free preview event so that they can then obviously be sucked into the Life in Air message, drink a little bit of the Life in Air Kool-Aid, and off we go. So that's what we've been sort of designing. So, the goal here is for Becky to sort of let you guys know what she's been designing and then show you how to use ClickFunnels a little bit. I don't know exactly what you have planned for today, so I don't want to share exactly what you're going to share because I don't know. But the fact of the matter is Becky's better at this than me. So if she can get them there, I can close them.
Awesome. Well, and really what we're basically doing is, we're taking what you're already doing and we're taking it offline to try to get more people into those events, both the 90-minute and then also the 3-day. What we're doing right now is we're figuring out the messaging and trying to get those 90-minute meetings more packed so that we can use what already works. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel and tune in the messaging. And then once we do, we're going to scale it to attract more entrepreneurs on a bigger scale and hopefully really pack either those 90-minute RIA events or be able to attract people who outside of the real estate world. Because obviously there's tons of people who need this same idea, that you don't have to be a slave to your business.
Yes, and I should mention we have a grand total of 40 minutes to be on this call today. So we're going to try to dish out as much as we can in that 40 minutes. If we can't get to everything, then we can always do another one later on down the road. But this isn't designed to be a full-blown training, just to give you a little idea of what we're doing. And so you can start thinking, how can I incorporate some of this stuff into my own business? And, also sort of introduce you to the concept that you don't have to do it all. You need to either talk to Becky or find somebody like her to just do it for you. Tell her what you want to accomplish and then say, go, because that's what I'm doing. And God knows if I was up to me to implement this stuff, it would never get done.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to share my screen, but I'm also going to try to write on this whiteboard that's right behind me because I'm just that kind of a person. And share screen. Here we go. So can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is actually the second step in the funnel that we're doing. The first step is going to be, okay, this is going to be tricky here a little bit, maybe. There we go. That's not going to work. Let me do it on the whiteboard on the computer. Okay, the first step is actually a Facebook video, because what we're doing there is we created a video that has a little bit of information and it offers value in that little tiny 30-second thing, and it also offers a promise of more value. Now, this is different from what you might have seen a lot of people do, because for this particular page, after we do the Facebook video here, can y'all see the whiteboard that I'm drawing on the screen?
Not at all.
No.
Okay, let's try that again then.
There we go.
Yep.
Now you can?
Yep.
Okay, good. So the very first step is the Facebook video. Awesome drawing skills here, let me say, with the mouse. The very first step is the Facebook video, and it's enough to get people in. And Facebook videos have been proven to convert at a higher rate, both paid and unpaid, than just a post. So that's why we're starting with that. And then from there, we go to a landing page, and it's the one that I showed you just a second ago, and I'll flip back over there in a minute. But it has another video on it, and we are not asking for an opt-in on this, because what we have is a Facebook pixel. And one of my clients calls it her secret spammy funnel, because it doesn't require an opt-in, but it still captures the visitor's information through that pixel. And then from there, we capture the email address, and then we send them to the details about the event, or it could be a product. You could do this for anything, but for speakers specifically, it's going to send them to the details about the event. So in the Life and Air case, this Facebook video is to draw them in. This is to give them value. Then the opt-in, it says this is where the meeting is and this is how you get there. Now, we're following up in a couple ways. If they don't ever even opt in, we're still going to hit them again on Facebook because we pixel them. And that's the beauty of the Facebook pixel. Come on, draw. And I know this sounds a little bit techie and scary, maybe. I'm not sure who all is, how techie you are, or if you're familiar even with what a pixel is. I know a lot of people aren't. Shaun had no idea what I was talking about when we first started talking. In fact, he said, I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is. Just make it work. So then from there, after they've gotten the details on the event, we're following up with them with additional emails to make sure that they're staying interested and staying involved. So it's basically really about a 4-step funnel, but it's very effective. Now, if this is a long process, let's say that it's a month away from his event, and we can continue to follow up with more videos if we wanted, with more content, maybe some downloads. All of these things are the way to follow up and continue to warm them up. But what we're doing is warming up that relationship. So does this make sense for everybody a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
A general idea?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Now, I'm going to attempt to switch back to my actual screen. Always fun when technology doesn't quite work, isn't it?
I thought that was just me.
Yeah, the techie person is supposed to. Okay, can you see the funnel again?
Yep.
Yes.
So what if you could actually create? Okay, so this is one of the split tests that we did for the Detroit. I don't remember. St. Louis. I don't remember. One of the previous REI events. And one of the things that's really cool about ClickFunnels is that you can split test it. So we have this one version, and we can say, okay, we're going to try this, and we're going to test the wording, we're going to test the pictures, we're going to test everything that we have on there. And then on another page, what we're going to do is create a split test real easily right here. We're going to create a variation, and that's going to allow us to do it right now. That's going to allow us to see what works better. Does this headline or this headline work better? Does this image or this image? Should we just do a plain white background, or should we do something fancier like an image in the background like we have here? Now, the cool thing about it is that it's super easy to do. And if you can figure out PowerPoint, you can do it. Or if you just don't want to mess with it and you just want to implement it faster like Shaun did, if you don't want me to do it, you can get somebody else to do it. But you can see here as we go down that there's lots of different images we can put in. And I'm going to take you inside I'm trying to find the actual one that we're using right now, because we've got a lot of different drafts. But I'm going to take you inside the actual software and let you see what I am doing. And you'll have to forgive me because ClickFunnels plus Zoom is very slow. Okay, so right here, we're actually inside the software, and
the software being ClickFunnels.
You can being ClickFunnels, yes, thank you. We're actually inside ClickFunnels, and you can see we have a picture here of Shaun in the background from him speaking. We have a countdown timer to show that urgency, and that particular timer isn't on this page to begin with, because it doesn't pop up until the video has started going. It's on a delay. And studies have kind of shown that having the button pop up later and also the timer pop up later causes people to stay on the page longer. And so just some of the other cool things we can do here, you can see that the video scrolls with the page. You can see we have more background images here. It's very simple to put in testimonials. And if we go back into the page, and then you saw the pop-up too. So that's an exit pop, and it makes it easy to capture the information before we leave.
So I'm just going to back up for a second, if I can, Becky, because I want to make sure people who are dumb like me understand everything you just said. So basically, anything, once you're in ClickFunnels, if you're not familiar with ClickFunnels at all, any of those little, first of all, this can be, they have thousands of different templates that you can purchase in ClickFunnels that are just already there, that you can trade with other people if you want to. And so if we already found something that looked similar to this, we could have just either purchased this from a website that sells ClickFunnels funnels like this, and then all we would have to do is basically click on any of the boxes here. So right now she's clicked on the 4 stages, or here, the title. So if she wants to click on that box, then she can literally backspace through it or add to it or whatever else. There you go. If she wants to insert a video, it's actually relatively simple to do. Now, to make it all look how Becky's made it look is it's not something that I would try to attempt myself. But the cool thing about ClickFunnels is that it is very much point, click, insert, things like that. So when she's talking about countdown timers, the video starts to play for, let's say, 2 minutes first before the countdown timer even pops up. And the countdown timer is designed to get them to say, oh, the timer for the event is coming up. I have to register right now. Then the thing she has on the screen, hey, pop that that other little thing that comes up when you try to leave the page.
The click pop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what she's talking about there,
here.
just so you know, in absolute layman's terms, because everyone understand all of this, when you try to leave that page, it can have pop-up settings designed to say, hey, don't leave yet. Are you sure you don't want whatever? Or did you see this or whatever? You can have it pop up. You guys have seen that before when you're on a web page, and just have it pop up to remind you to do stuff. So all of this stuff is built into ClickFunnels, and that's one of the, I like it. And very point and click.
Exactly. And so when you go to leave, and it's not going to do it because I already exit out, but when you go to leave, this pops up, or when you click on the button. And these are all settings that you can change. So this button can make this pop-up come up. It can take you to the next page. It can do basically a million different things. And what Shaun was saying about the changing things around. So what I can do here is I can actually take this exact funnel that we've created for Shaun, and I can send a link to anybody, and they could just put in their information and use it. So it makes it really fast and easy to get it started.
Which basically means my entire funnel would be in your ClickFunnels account, and you would basically use what I have here, but go in and change the wording, and you would copy the exact same thing.
Right. So it takes the start time from hours to minutes. Basically, what you would do is you would click here, you would change the wording to be yours. You would click down here, you would change the event information to be yours. And you would scroll down and continue to do the same thing all the way throughout. The pictures, you click on it, you can change the picture, and it's super simple to do just by clicking on that. And you can upload whatever pictures you like. So if you are techie, or if you're like Joe and you have people in your group who are techie, it is very easy to change all these things out and be able to quickly get up and running. This Life and Air logo, we just click on it, then we click on images, and we upload whichever one we want. And you can see all the ones we've already uploaded. But there's one more step that I left out when I was mapping out the funnel that I'd like to tell you about. Also, anytime you go to leave, if you've made changes, it'll ask you, wait a minute, do you really want to leave? In this case, yes, I do. But there's one more step in that funnel that I showed you that is kind of cool. This is a piece that we did for one of the previous RIAs while he was there in the actual room. He said, if you want this additional information from me, text this number, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was text this word to this number. So in this case, it was text Detroit to this number. And that brought up this funnel, this opt-in on their phone, and they were able to reply with their email address and get this download instead of ever going to this page.
So let me let me just jump in and explain that real quick. So we decided,
untechie it for them.
Okay, so and I want to just make sure you guys understand why we did this. So and there's different levels of people here. Some know exactly what Becky's talking about. Some are like, what is she even referring to right now? So when I was in the front of the room, I thought, what's a great way I could capture the information of the people there in the live room. I was going to speak at a real estate investor association, and I wanted to do a follow-up sequence of emails and everything that's like already built in, so that once somebody gets into my system with an email address or a phone number, I want to be able to retarget them over and over and over until the event comes and they're either there or they're not. And so when I was there in front of the room, let's say I've got 200 people in a room. My goal is to sell 100 or more of those into coming to the 3-day event, which is going to take place about a month later. And I'm doing that at the 90-minute little preview event, right? So during that 90-minute preview, I gave away some really good information. And then I could say during that little session, I could say, look, if you want, the spreadsheet that shows you how to do all this, or if you want my PowerPoint here that we're going through tonight, everybody pull out your phones and text the word Detroit to the following number, 515151, or whatever the phone number is. And that, that is a texting service called easytexting.com. And in that texting service, once they put in Detroit and text that number, it replies back and says, okay, click on this link to get your free bonus. When they click the link, it takes them to this page that you see on Becky's screen right now that says, okay, you want to quit your job? Here's the exact recipe on how to do it. This is a little mini course that you're going to get right now. Enter your email address in right there on your phone. Takes 2 seconds. Now you get it. And once they put in their email address, it automatically emails them a copy of the training or the spreadsheet or whatever the free thing is that you sort of dangled in front of them to get them to give you their information. And then now you can set that up to where your automatic follow-up sequence of emails to them automatically goes out. So maybe they get the first one right now that says, hey, here's your free gift. And they get another one right behind it that says, hey, did you sign up for the 3-day event coming up? If not, you need to. Click here to see why, or whatever it happens to be. But now I can follow up with them 3 times, 5 times, 100 times, however many times I want, until they either attend the event, don't attend the event, or say, stop contacting me and opt out. Okay, go ahead. I just want to explain that.
No. I'm glad you did. And, I am immersed in this all the time. And so I appreciate you taking it from just a little bit different angle and telling them about it. So all of these are ways to capture the emails and be able to follow up. That's really the whole goal here. Capture the email, follow up, get more people in the seats. And then once they're in the room, if the people that, we all know Shaun's an amazing closer, but people who he doesn't close, he has additional opportunities to follow up with them. And if it's one of the cases where you might be, if Shaun or whomever is speaking might be back in that same area again, then you have the opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to be back, come to this other event, or come to the 3-day event, or whichever it might be.
Now, here's what's cool about this too. So let's say, one of the biggest concerns that somebody like Brian, who's on the line with us, would have right now, if he's got the group, Brian might say, hey man, I don't want you capturing the information of the people in my room. That's my people. Well, that's a valid concern of his, because what most speakers would do is they would try to capture the people in the room and then sell them stuff later and then cut Brian out. When I go speak at Brian's 90-minute little promotion event, when he's got a real estate investor association, he's getting half my sales usually for the 90-minute, for the 3-day event, or he's getting some percentage of sales. And so if I then go have a follow-up marketing sequence and I intentionally don't really try to hard close them, the people in the room there at his event, and instead just follow up with everybody later and close them, that's not cool to Brian. So when I do this with a real estate investor association leader like Brian, I would say, look, anybody that puts in their information, they get tagged. Anybody that texts us with their info, they get tagged, Brian, that you are the affiliate. So if they ever sign up for anything with me, I can have Becky tag all of those people as an affiliate, put Brian's affiliate code and attach it to those people. And then if they ever sign up for anything at all, ClickFunnels automatically knows, go ahead and pay Brian half, because Brian's the person who basically procured that lead for us. And of course I can tell it to do that, I think, for however long I want, right?
Yes, yes. It will all, until you remove them from that, it will always be there. You will always be tagged to that person. And you can do that from, again, within the software, several ways. And you can create an entire affiliate program. So, if Shaun were selling let's say Shaun were selling a course instead of an event, he can make it so that anybody could be tagged as his affiliate. I mean, Brian could go out and promote it at one of his own events. And then here in the contacts and the email lists, as soon as someone opts in on this particular text that they did the text opt-in at Brian's event, it automatically goes to a list that specifically says this is only from Brian's event.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get mixed in with anybody else.
Becky, we have
so it keeps it separated in a couple ways.
We have 9 minutes left, and this meeting literally is scheduled for 40 minutes so that we're not on here all day. And at the end, 8 minutes, 45 seconds,
right,
probably shut off. So is there anything else in that time that would be the most, I mean, this is pretty much the whole thing, right?
I mean, this is basically as good of a 30,000 foot overview as we can get in 30 minutes. But really the idea is to understand how you can take exactly what you're doing offline and put it online and automate it. And like I was saying with the sketch that I did, you don't have to make people opt in order to be able to follow up with them. So that's the beauty of both of those.
Yeah.
You can pull them in, you can warm them up, and be able to follow up in a lot of different ways.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Could you do this model with say like a webinar, Shaun? Have you ever thought about that, or is it effective to get people into your funnel instead of sending them to a free event? Say people wanted to come and they couldn't come for whatever reason. Send them to do a webinar, free training, and then sell them into the 3-day seminar.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like for instance, the people who couldn't make it to Myria.
Yes. Oh, we lost you.
Well, I mean, the answer is yes.
Okay.
That should be like, of course, my funnel is going to look different than yours or somebody else's who's trying to accomplish something different. But yes, if I got them all the way to that point and then they were not able to register to come to that event, I should have a sidestep that says, hey, can't make it to the physical event? Click here for the webinar that's going to basically cover everything that we talked about anyway. Or let's say I actually do the event and I still have the list that's been generated for the last X amount of weeks. I could hit all of those people that did not sign up again after the first 90-minute event took place and said, hey, here's what you missed. You got to check this back out. Here's the webinar of the event if I wanted to. And I could do all of that. Absolutely.
And try to get sales that way. Which, have you ever done that, or Becky, have you ever done something like that to where you guys have actually like been successful with it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Not with Shaun because we're still in the process of setting all of his stuff up, but definitely we have done that. In fact, his is a very unique funnel because, like I said before, he has, excuse me, he has something that was already working. So that's why we bypass the traditional webinar, the traditional email to, or Facebook ad to email to webinar type of thing. In essence, he's doing a live webinar. And if I can show you here real quick in the little bit of time we have left, we actually are working on, and actually, I don't know if Shaun knows this, to tell you the truth. I'm actually working on an automated version of what he's doing. So this will be, I stalked his videos and I found a video of him doing the 90-minute, and this will be like a webinar for him. It's a video of one of his RIA presentations, and it will be automated. Once we get these steps going into it, we could do this for any of the Lifeonaires, and it will take people from an automated registration page to a video of one of the RIA presentations of the 90-minute thing. the 9-minute presentation. So yeah, that's in process and tweaking that and stuff. So he doesn't quite know that that's working.
That's awesome. Becky, can I talk to you offline about some stuff we're doing with our seminar? I think that this is something that's really cool that we could do with our seminar.
Absolutely. I would be happy to do that.
Cool.
So 2 things real quick. I want, if you guys have a conversation offline, Becky, just so you know, Brian's the one from Alabama with the event coming. You know, anything that he wants to try out.
Yeah, I connected that via Facebook. So
yeah, okay, just make sure. So
cool.
Anything he wants to try with this event will benefit all of us. And I say, let's go for it. Anything I can provide for that, let's do it. But also,
what do you want to
do? Yeah, cool. I also want to let anybody watching this know. And I do not get anything for this. This is not like me doing a sales webinar here, but I want to encourage you, if you want somebody to do this for you, just reach out to Becky and have her implement this stuff for you, because I know this stuff enough to say, here's what I'd like to accomplish, but I'm not going to pull this off. And if I do, me trying to pull off what she just explained is going to take me 2 weeks and a lot of curse words. So Becky, give them how do they contact you to have, and by the way, I told Becky, I said, if she's going to do this, you know, the way to do it is to sit down with you guys. And I said, you should charge a reasonable fee to have a consult with people and consult with them and just say, here's what I think you should do based on what you're trying to accomplish. Let's have a first conversation, see that. And then charge them a reasonable fee just to say, here's what I think your plan of action is. And then you can decide whether or not you want to hire her to actually implement all of it, or if you want to do it on your own. But either way, I want to encourage you guys to reach out to her. And as long as you reaching out to her doesn't negatively impact what she's doing for me, I'm totally cool sharing this awesome resource that I think is really So Becky, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, they can definitely contact me, you know, via email. It's Becky@funnelpros.net, very easy. Or I've got a page set up to be able to book like a half-day consultation and be able to dig into it deep. We can do it on Zoom like we're doing now for like a half a day. You know, what Shaun and I did was, and Karen, I actually went out there and we got very clear and mapped out everything for like a day and a half, 2 half days. I don't remember what it was exactly, but so we have both of those options. And if you wanted to do that, then that URL is funnelmagic.expert. And I'm going to drop that in the chat. Both of those ways to contact me. And of course, I think all of you know me on Facebook as well.
Hey, Becky, this is Joe. Are you, you're in Texas, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, our Note School office is in Texas. So where are you in Texas?
I'm in San Antonio.
San Antonio. Okay, gotcha. Susan, I just wanted you to know that. So
Thanks.
So yes, and you know, like I said, go ahead.
So if you don't mind getting an email out just with Becky's contact info to the same people that this message went out to, so they can contact her if they want to. And
I was thinking the same thing. I'll follow. Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, and add Susan to the list, and it's Susan@noteschool.com. NOTESCHOOL.com.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I hope that was helpful. I hope that I didn't go through it too quickly. I know it can be a little bit confusing sometimes, but you know, everybody has their strengths, and so when we work to them, then you know, we definitely don't have to do anything else. But I appreciate you, Shaun, doing this.
No problem.
Thanks, Shaun.
Guys, reach out to Becky, and also go get ClickFunnels, man. Hey, Karen, if you don't mind, since some of these people are going to sign up for ClickFunnels anyway, let's send out my affiliate link for ClickFunnels, and at the very least, if you guys are going to get it anyway, I might as well send out an affiliate or Becky's affiliate link or whatever. But man, get it. It's really good, and it goes anywhere from like $97 a month, or if you want like all the bells and whistles, it goes up to $300 a month. But man, it's pretty cool. It's the most well-rounded, everything in one place deal and system that I've ever seen. And of course, you know, that's